Hey, everybody. This is Dr. B from Custom Made Weight Loss. I'm here with my partner in crime, Miss. I think your phone is on mute, Danu.
Oh, no, Danishka Pardo. I'm here. Yay. We're getting ready to eat.
Yes, so you can see today we're really excited because we are cooking with the chefs, and we've got our chefs in the house. We're going to give you an opportunity. We'll introduce them in a second, but we're super excited. We've been going through our 20-pound, 12-week weight loss challenge, and week 3, folks have been making some serious progress. We're super excited about it. But week 3, we're giving ourselves the opportunity to learn some healthy cooking techniques. We're going to be cooking. I'll let the chefs tell you what we're cooking. So we're going to be cooking some really fun meals. We've got our pastry chef and our food chef. They've got some great meals for us. So I'm getting myself ready. I'm going to pull out a few more things in my kitchen, but I'm going to give them an opportunity to introduce themselves. And then bye. Okay. Oh, Donnie, I'm going to let you take over. Let's pull up the menu for today.
Okay, so today we have 2 chefs with us. Uh-oh. We have 2 chefs with us. We have Chef Antonio and Chef Raven. We're both, here we go, say hi, guys. So today we're going to actually prepare 2 different entrees. 1 entree, 1 dessert. So I'm going to let Chef Antonio and Chef Raven go ahead and tell us about what they're cooking.
Thank you. I'm Chef Antonio. Today we'll be making a grilled salmon and also a grilled eggplant for a vegetarian option, and that's going to be paired with herb brown rice and also asparagus.
I can't wait. I got all my things ready. So we're going to go ahead. I believe we have the list in front of us as to everything that we need as far as food. Yep, we're going to just bring it up right there. So we have our ingredients here. Chef Antonio, are you able to bring up your volume a little bit? Because I know I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing you.
Is that a little better?
You there?
We're going to do a little bit of troubleshooting because it does sound like there's some background or feedback. Do both of you have your cell phones on, or just you have a little bit of static coming through? Can you hear us, Antonio? It sounds like it's frozen. Oh, I think your phone might be on mute. Check and see if you're on mute. Antonio, can you hear us? Oh boy, I think maybe it's the reception. Let's try. Let's see if we can pull up the other phone that you guys have. We'll pull up the ingredients again. The reception, there's a lot of background noise. In the meantime, let's pull up our ingredients and get everybody a chance to pull those ingredients back up again. So we're super excited about what we're having today. We have our vegetarian option, and we also have a protein option. Obviously, a fish we're doing with so it's lemon herb salmon or grilled eggs with brown rice and asparagus for our main entree. And then, of course, we have the dessert. And the wonderful thing about the dessert, which I'll let Raven share with you, is that it's a low-calorie dessert, believe it or not. Even though it's like it seems like it's simple, but it's Raven's Nicole's Betty Snickerdoodle Cheesecake. Okay, let's see if we can get back on. We'll hear a little bit of feedback. We try again.
Hey guys, we cannot hear anything at all. So we're just
you can't hear anything.
Just gonna exit and come back. Yeah, we can't hear anything. Maybe if we left and tried to come back, and it might be better.
Okay, yeah, we'll have them log out and then we'll log back in. So yeah, I guess we'll find. Yeah, or you can try and log in on your other phone if you can. Sorry, y'all on Facebook. This is reality TV for real. Let's see if your other phone, if you can log on while we're trying to troubleshoot. from the other phone that you guys have and see if that might work a little bit better. All right, so everyone start pulling out their ingredients while we wait for them. And
Yeah, we're just.
we'll put a plug in for the 20-pound challenge. Do we have any of our pictures for some of the folks? We can talk about that while we wait for them to log back on. So like we mentioned before, it's been a lot of success during our weight loss challenge. It's not too late to join. This is going into week 3. If anyone's interested, you can be a part of it. We've had, so far, I want to say some folks have lost up to 4 or 5 pounds already on our challenge in just 3 short weeks. Others have lost almost 8 pounds. We have a few pictures, if we still have those pictures of our before and after pictures of, or before and now, I should say, of some of the folks that have been on. Let's see, I think we have Miss Lauren Jones. She's been on the weight loss challenge, our journey now, for about 5 months, 5 or 6 months, and she's been able to have some great success, and we're super excited. She's our mental health expert, and every week she's giving us moments with Lauren, and has been doing a fabulous job with just helping us walk through the difficult time that we've been having dealing with COVID and the police brutality and getting through the protests, and just having us check in during this time so that we're not emotionally eating, because many folks have been picking up all this different weight as we go through all the different challenges. So we're super excited for Lauren, one, as a partner of ours, and then also as a patient or who's been successful in this weight loss journey. Do we have anyone else that we can show who's been successful while we wait for them to bring? Let's see if I think they're back on now. And then of course we have Miss Milana, who's also been really successful in our program as well.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a little scary, but I think we can go on. I think it's okay. Not as bad.
Yeah, it's a little better. We've got to back up to the backup plan if all else fails, but we're going to try to roll with it right now. So.
All right. Well, let's get started.
You said, Marie, this is live TV. So.
Excellent. So why don't we get started? You guys can introduce yourselves.
Okay. My name's Raven. I am the head pastry chef and CEO and creator and all that other good stuff of Raven & Co's Desserts. I specialize in all things desserts, all things pastry, and I also make keto-friendly desserts, vegan desserts, low-calorie desserts. I'd like to work with different lifestyle choices and everything like that. I love to be able to create my desserts and give them to people and have it fit their lifestyles as well. I believe that people shouldn't have to choose between a healthy lifestyle and dessert. So I love to be able to offer those 2 options to people. But yeah, that's a little bit about me. My Instagram and Facebook is all under the same name, Raven & Co's Desserts. It's Nicole's with 2 L's. But yeah. And then Antonio's behind me. You want me to... Oh. Okay. Well, yeah. I think this one's fine though, Ann. Okay. Yeah. All right. So. Yeah.
How y'all doing? I'm Chef Antonio. I'm the sous chef over at Stay Fed Restaurant. However, I'm branching out to doing my own catering and personal chef work. The name of my catering company is Carol's Table in honor of my late grandmother. And I would love to own my own restaurant within the next 5 years tops. So you can find me on Instagram at Chef Metaphor, and Metaphor is spelled META with the number 4.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. We're super excited to have you all join us, and we can't wait to try it. So take it away. The floor is yours. Let us know what we're doing with our next step. So I'm in my kitchen, and I am going to follow along with what you tell us to do. I think the meat, did it say the meat again, Antonia? It looks like we're having some technical difficulties with them. Boy, this is tough. Can you hear us, Raven?
We can hear you guys, but it is like a slight static echo like after you guys speak. I'm not sure if maybe it's helpful if like we're closer, maybe we have to pull the tripod
We
closer.
can put our phones on mute, but we'll let you guys go on and get started. Antonio, take it away. I'll put myself on mute so you can take over.
Okay.
Okay, I think we're gonna have to log off and log back on because it just sounds like we are having some serious technical difficulties. We did our little test run several times, but for some reason, as it may be,
And let me try just logging off for me if it makes a difference, okay?
I think it's their reception.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're trying to log on to another computer, so it has more so to do with them. Sorry, y'all. Thank you for tuning in, though.
I know, we will be back.
The chat box if you want to say hello. Let us know if you're cooking with us. You got your ingredients. I'm super excited about the cheesecake, even though I really shouldn't be having it. But it's nice to know that the cheesecake is only 200 calories. So this week I celebrated my birthday, and my favorite place to eat is the Cheesecake Factory. I always have to do the red velvet cheesecake. And when I looked at how many calories one slice was, it was literally almost 800 calories for one slice of cheesecake. Raven is showing us how to make, you can put that picture back up. Raven is showing us how to make her delectable cheesecake at merely 200 calories
200.
per a slice. So I am looking forward to finding a low calorie option, and it's keto. So if there are people out there who are doing our keto, which some of our folks in the challenge, I call them challengers, some of our challengers are doing during our 20-pound challenge, this is another option for you to choose while we work on, instead of doing the unhealthy cheesecake. All right, let's see if we can get the chefs back in here. Please bear with us as we keep trying to troubleshoot. Can you hear us now?
Yes, we can.
Ooh, that sounds much better. Okay, let's get this started. Praise the Lord. Okay, take it away, y'all.
All right. So today, I'm gonna be preparing grilled salmon along with brown rice and asparagus, and I also have eggplant as a vegetarian option. And this total meal is 310 calories. The highest calorie count is in the 6 ounces of salmon, which is 197 calories. So firstly, I'm gonna turn my grill on. So I got this grill from Walmart, and it didn't cost me much. It cost me all of $30. So I'm gonna put it on low, so that way it starts to heat up until I'm ready to use it. So while I'm waiting for that to heat up, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna strip my rosemary leaves from the stem, and to do that is very easy. Just take 2 fingers and just pull straight down. And we're gonna do 2 sprigs of rosemary. Rosemary adds a nice floral flavor and is very aromatic, and it pairs very well with lemon and the rest of the herbs that we're using. So we're also going to use basil. While we're waiting for this to heat up, we're gonna start chopping. And the way I like to hold my knife is I like to come up closer on the handle for maximum control. And as I'm cutting, I put my left hand on top of the blade, so that way I have control and just nice smooth motions.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Chef Antonio, you must have a really good knife because mine's not cutting like yours.
Oh yeah. Yo, so I sharpened it this morning, and the way I like to sharpen my knife is on the back of a ceramic plate. So you can take a plate, put it on a back side, and just come down at about a 45-degree angle on each side. And I like to do it at least a good 7 times on each side to get it real sharp. And another way to own your blade and keep it sharp is to get a knife steel and just go side to side.
Ah, okay.
About 45-degree angle as well.
I didn't know about the ceramic plate trick.
Yep. Well, I had a chef who taught me that down when I was working in catering.
Mm-hmm.
He taught me that trick because we were in the middle of a rush. I mean, in the middle of getting the event set, and he said we had to do that instead of running all the way downstairs because I worked at the Belvedere, so it was a 13th floor that we were at, and the main catering kitchen was on the first floor, so we didn't really have time to stop what we were doing and go sharpen our knives properly.
Wow.
So that trick definitely worked and saved us a lot of time.
I think so. Now I know.
So now that our rosemary's chopped, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're just looking for little chops like so. Can you see? Sorry.
Okay. I'm a little off. Okay.
Next, I'm chiffonade our basil. Now, chiffonade, that's a French culinary term, and that means to roll tightly and then cut and create ribbons. And it's important when you're doing this to have a bear claw method. So your left hand is, or whatever hand isn't your dominant hand, is just your guiding hand. So you do this motion right here that prevents you from coming down and cutting your knuckles or anything. So we're just looking for nice little ribbons like so.
Got it.
We're gonna add that to our herb bowl. So thyme doesn't really have to be cut because the leaves are so small. So just like with the rosemary, with a delicate hand, you just remove the leaves off. And we're gonna do about 2 sprigs of those of thyme leaves.
Now, Chef Antonio, how long is a spring? So what's the real termination of the spring? Is it a total like the size of your finger, or is it like half the finger? Like what is it?
Oh, so a sprig is just like one stem.
Mm-hmm.
So some stems are longer than others, and they vary in size, but it's just referring to one stem.
Okay, so I'm pulling out my rosemary because that's all I have left. So this one, say for instance, I have this.
Okay.
Oops, sorry about that.
Yes.
That's one.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's one sprig. Yep.
Let's see. So this is one spring and this is one spring. So it doesn't even matter how. All right, cool.
Yep.
I got the right thing.
So while we're still waiting for our griddle to heat up, we're gonna pour 3 ounces of brown rice into our pot.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 ounces, it doesn't look like a lot, but we just have to keep in mind that rice swells up as it takes on a lot of water. It absorbs all the water and it definitely swells up. So it'll give us a nice healthy portion of rice. And with brown rice, it's high in protein. It's higher in protein than regular rice, but so it's like the best option for it as opposed to using white rice because white rice has been bleached. Brown rice is more in its purest form. So we're gonna add our water. And a little trick is to add the water about an inch over where your rice is. So can you see into the pot? So we're looking for our rice to be about right here. I mean, our water level on our rice to be about right here. Okay, so we're gonna add some of our freshly cut herbs since they're all mixed.
Chef Antonio, I don't know if you mentioned that there's always this mixed thoughts about whether or not we should rinse our rice before we throw it in, or if we should just kind of, is it okay for us just to take it right out the bag and scoop it in? It is.
Yes, it's fine to take it right out the bag. So with washing rice, that's just getting the additional starch off of your rice. So it's really a personal preference.
Okay. I think folks are saying they're having a hard time seeing. If you can pull the tripod forward just a little bit so we can see what's in that there.
Is this better right here?
I think that's a little bit better. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. No problem.
Don't laugh at me. I'm cheating because I have a rice cooker. So that's what I'm going to put my rice in.
So if you have like a rice cooker, or if you cooking more than the 3 ounces of rice, a fun way to utilize the rest of your ingredients, and also so you won't be eating the same meal, is to do like a stir fry. So you can cool your rice, leave it in the refrigerator overnight, let it get cold. Then you can use your additional eggplant as well as asparagus, and you can toss it all together in a wok. I personally like to use sesame oil and soy sauce and ginger, and I like to use those Asian flavors. However, you can use whatever flavor profiles that you want to build. So right now, I'm just adding a pinch of fresh herbs into a pot of rice. I'm also going to add a pinch of salt and pepper. So the reason we add salt during the cooking process is because the molecules in the salt dissolve in hot water, resulting in a more balanced and evenly distribute. Thank you. More balanced and evenly distribute salting, so you won't find yourself having to add a whole lot of salt after the fact. So while rice is working, next we're gonna go ahead and cut our eggplant and mise en place this. So mise en place is a French culinary term that means everything in this place. So as you can see right here, I have all my prep. This is an example of what mise en place is. So when we cutting our eggplant, we want to rinse it first. A nice rinse. Then we want to cut the top off, so the green. And we want to cut the bottom off without cutting too much of it off. So with the top side, we literally just want to cut enough so that the grain is off. So like that. And with the bottom, same thing. You don't want to take too much off. So I want to take just enough off. So it should look like this after you trimmed it.
Can you get a little bit closer to the camera so we can see it? Where we're looking. Oh, okay. You're cutting on top. Got it. Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Sorry, y'all. I'm cheating. I know I should have fresh basil, but I couldn't find any at the store I went to. So my trusty fried stuff.
That's no problem. Dry herbs are definitely good when you're cooking like long term. So let's say if we had a roast that we were putting into the oven, your dry herbs would definitely hold up longer. Fresh herbs just are more flavorful and release more of a freshness to your dish.
Got it.
So with our eggplant, we're just looking to cut about 1 inch straight down. So about right here, where my finger is, and we're just gonna cut straight down. So we should look like this. So I'm gonna add some olive oil onto the griddle. I'm gonna crank the heat up. It was on low heat so it can preheat. So now I'm gonna turn it up to about medium heat right now. And a good way to know if your pan or your griddle is hot is to take the back side of your hand and hold it up about 3-4 inches above it, just so you can feel the heat waves rising up on it.
Now, I will tell you, Chef Antonio, I love this griddle. I don't know why I've never heard of it or even thought to use one before, but ever since you told me about it, I went out and got one, and I'm loving this griddle, and I'll be using it all the time for my vegetables to grill them. So thank you for this.
No problem. I personally like using griddles too because I like seeing grill marks on my food, and it just makes me feel a little happier knowing even if I can't physically get outside and get on a grill and the whole contraption, I can definitely get the grill marks from the griddle. So I'm just gonna add some of my olive oil onto my griddle. Gonna take my eggplant, add some salt and pepper. And when I put my eggplant down, before I put my eggplant down, I'm also gonna add some fresh herbs onto there.
Should we lay our eggplant any in particular way across the griddle or?
Oh yeah. So what I like to do, I like to put mine on the flesh side, and I like to put that on like the going parallel to how my lines are going on my griddle, so that way we get some beautiful grill marks in the end. So
in mine, I got my eggplant. I don't know if y'all can see it or not. Have that there, so folks can see what the eggplant. I think I'll put a few more on there because I love eggplant. And I'm gonna make, because I know we were talking about meal prepping, so we're gonna make enough so that we'll have some for a couple days as opposed to just one day. Might as well, since we're putting all this work in, we'll have to keep, cooking.
So what'd you say? Grandma, you have eggplant over there?
No, sorry, I meant to say asparagus. My bad. I tried.
I was just making sure I got my vegetables.
No, it's asparagus.
So speaking of asparagus, we're gonna put that on our griddle next. Add a little bit more olive oil on top of it. Then we're gonna sprinkle some salt and pepper onto it as well. Then we're gonna take our salmon, add some salt and pepper to both sides. Not too much, just a pinch on each side, just so it's evenly salted.
Hey, Raven, sorry to interrupt you. Raven, can you grab the camera that I was trying to get Raven, if she can hold the phone that you're holding and just stand closer to you with your phone instead of it being on the tripod. I think folks that they're putting in the feedback, they want to be a little bit closer. Unless she's, can you hold the camera, Raven? I can see the phone and just a little closer so we can see, because it's hard to see them.
See, that's why I asked you asked you how to do it.
So next, we're about to put our salmon on the griddle, and when we're doing salmon,
One sec, sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I just want to make sure I got. Gotcha. It keeps slipping back to me.
Gotcha.
Back camera. It won't flip. Hold on. Okay. We'll do it like that. It's technology.
So when we're putting our salmon down, we're going to add some fresh herbs down, but we also want to put it on the skin side, so you can tell the difference between the skin side and the I'm sorry, I'm looking for the words on the tip of my tongue. They're just not coming out. So this side is where we filleted it from the skin, and this side is beautiful flesh. Presentation side. Yes, flesh. Thank you. Our flesh side and our skin side. So we always start with laying it on the skin side first. That's the sound we should hear.
Oh, that's still me.
And that's the sound we should hear, is that nice sizzle. And on our top side, on our flesh side, I'm sorry, you want to also add some fresh herbs. Now cooking with the herbs, they'll definitely penetrate and you'll be able to taste it throughout.
Yeah, it won't let me flip to back camera. It's fine. Is this upside down for you guys?
It's sideways.
Okay.
Yeah, we can get a little bit closer. That's great.
So everything is grilling, and that's another reason why I love using this griddle, because you can have different projects going at once, as opposed to having multiple pots and pans on the stove. You can do everything at once on this griddle. So while that's going, I'm just going to take my spatula and rotate my eggplant. And rotating it allows for the grill marks to definitely seep in a little bit deeper. I know our salmon hasn't been on for too long, but I'm going to also rotate that as well, because that's the benefit of having your griddle heating up and it being hot. It's searing. So a sear is just the technical term for a sear is just placed on a hot pan or hot griddle just to get a nice crust on the outside. I'm gonna go ahead and give our rice a little bit of a stir as well, and we like to stir our rice so that way nothing is sticking to the bottom of the pan. You know, if sometimes if there's multiple things going on, it's easy to forget about something or neglect something.
Now, I'm an Old Bay person. I love Old Bay on everything. It's probably the Marylander in me, but I feel like I can't go without my Old Bay my seasoning. So please forgive me because I'm adding a little bit of that on there. I know I'm
Not a problem.
I'm doing my own thing over here.
So when it comes to seasoning, you can do your own thing because seasonings don't really carry too many calories. They don't carry carbs or anything. So you can definitely be creative when it comes to seasonings and build your flavor profiles to what suits your taste buds. You can see our asparagus starting to get some color onto it. We're looking for that nice char. Our eggplant should be about ready to flip. So we're going to gently use our spatula to flip it. And we have grill marks.
I wonder if I got it. I think I got it. Ready for salmon?
Yep, we're also going to flip our salmon too. Now I know it looks like it started out at 6 ounces, but it's shrunk. That's okay because heat shrinks things as they cook.
Oh, that's nice. Sorry. I know this
Mine
is
is looking good.
So yep, this is the benefit of having our pan hot. We see those nice, beautiful grill marks on the salmon.
Sheesh. Not sure if we can get a little bit of everything right now.
And our rice is just about finished. So when it comes to the griddle, the eggplant is definitely going to be what takes the longest because eggplant has so much water content in it. And what happens when things are grilling, it's a direct heat and it's pulling the moisture out of things in order to make these marks on there and also cook it through. So at this point, I'm gonna flip,
Looking good. Can't wait to have it.
rotate my salmon again, and we're gonna let it cook for about another minute and a half, and then we're gonna stick it into the oven.
Should we warm up our oven to what degree?
Yes, to 325.
Okay.
So now I'm just gonna add some fresh lemon juice onto our asparagus and also onto our salmon and eggplant. The lemon juice gives it acidity and also gives it an additional flavor.
Hey guys, I'm gonna test something out really quick. I just want to see if it messes up the audio if I turn my fan on. It's getting a little smokehouse, like a smokehouse in here. Is that okay? Can you guys still hear it? I don't think you can hear it.
So far, so good.
Yeah, very good.
So far, so good.
So now we're gonna take our salmon off. And we have a nice char on top. I'll add our lemons, 2 lemon slices, and then it goes into the oven for about 7 minutes. And our asparagus, we see that beautiful char on there. Eggplant, I'm gonna rotate it again. And I feel it getting tender right now. So eggplant,
I'm gonna go open. No, you're good. 2 seconds, guys. I'm gonna put y'all back on the tripod. I'm just gonna go open a window.
Sorry, y'all. My computer. I think we're having all kind of technical difficulties today. Let me see if I can turn mine around because it logged off. My salmon is coming around nicely.
I'm sorry, what was that? I'm gonna pull our asparagus out. That was hot.
All right,
I'm
so you
just
know
used to
when
grabbing
you
stuff
have
and
that
having
one
kitchen
person who
hands.
always has to try
So you
things
can.
before it's time to try things? I'm that person, so I'm gonna go ahead because I'm not an eggplant eater, so this is one of my first times.
Are you doing
And it's good. I like it. I'm excited.
So
by the time we're done
eggplant is
cooking, I'll probably be done eating.
eggplant? I'm putting my lemon
I
on.
just took my eggplant off.
So I made a couple more slices as I was cooking.
And when everything is completed, the dish should look something like this. So those 3 ounces of rice, they definitely swell up and took
Close up for
the
mine.
mass of the plate. Looks good, looks good.
Oh my, you're already finished. Okay. That looks excellent. Let's get a close up. Can you bring it a little bit closer so we can see that eggplant? Looks so tasty.
So how long are they leaving it inside of the oven, the salmon?
The salmon just needs to be in the oven for about
they're
5
muted.
to 7 minutes.
5 to 7 minutes? Okay.
All right, 5 to 7 minutes.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. I love this griddle. Why didn't I know about this before today? Where have you been all of my life? All right. So we'll stand by. I think we're all finished with that one. Do we have I don't know if our background person, do we have the information for the nutritional information for this dish we can post? How's everyone else? Tell us what you're doing on Facebook. How is your dishes coming out? Maybe you want to upload some of the pictures on there so you can see how yours are going. I'm going to take a picture and post mine. So I'm excited about my salmon because it looks like I was outside grilling. I'll put it on my put it on the plate in a minute.
Yeah, mine is a little longer. I didn't have mine in
This
this
whole dish is only 310 calories.
300 calories? Okay.
310, yep. The bulk of it comes from salmon, which is 197 calories. But it's good because it's rich in vitamin D and it has properties that burn off fat cells. So that's definitely something good for when we were looking for weight loss.
And one of the things I did want to just point out again in regards to the brown rice, because I know a lot of folks do not like brown rice, and I'm not a big brown rice person either. I love that you did add those herbs to it. I think it's probably going to make a big difference so it doesn't taste so bad. The brown rice, in terms of comparing to brown rice to white rice, we love that when we're working on losing weight because one, it doesn't convert to sugar as quickly as the white rice does. And it also doesn't really boost that insulin up as quickly as the white rice. So when you're making decisions or trying to decide on what type of food when you're working on weight loss, we definitely recommend you do the whole grains, brown rices, quinoas, instead of any of the white sugar. Go for brown sugar instead of white sugar. Go for brown rice instead of white rice. Wheat bread or whole grain bread instead of the white breads. It's just a much better, more complex carb than those the white sugars, white breads, and other things like that. And also gives you a sense of fullness, and it's great. I think it has a better portion of fiber in it as well. Yeah, it has about 2 grams of fiber. So anyway, thank you so much, Chef Antonio. I'm looking forward to, I better take my stuff off here while I'm talking before my salmon goes bad. But are we finished with this dish? We want to move on to our dessert next? If you can take a screenshot of that, let's post that on, you can send it to a Facebook group. You can text it to me and I'll post it for everyone to see.
Okay. Sure.
I'm going to keep cooking.
Thank you guys so much. And once again, you can follow me on my Instagram at Chef Metaphor, META with the number 4. And thank you.
All right, we're ready for dessert.
I'm ready.
I can't wait. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm full disclaimer now. Well, I'll wait for Raven to start. But I'm cheating a little bit again, Raven. Don't be mad at me. Please don't be mad at me. Anyways, before Raven starts, I was saying, don't be mad at me because I'm cheating a little bit once we get into this. We're super excited about your dish. We really are. Before we go into dessert, before we go into desserts, I will put a plug in. We talked about the importance of meal prepping. I love these meal prep containers. One of the biggest issues that we try and encourage our clients, our patients to do is portion control. Oftentimes we're eating way more than our body really requires. And when you're meal prepping with these types of containers, it helps give you a little bit of structure in terms of how much food you should put in your container. And also, it saves time. So if you cook a big meal, we have a lot of folks who will cook a big meal on Sunday and then they'll portion it out for the week. So even though a lot of us are working from home right now, when we get to the point where we're going back to work, these are great things where you cook dinner on Sunday, you take this for lunch take it for lunch on Monday, and then maybe take another container and pre-package or prep your work week, and you have 2 or 3 days of lunch. So you can do a prep on Sunday and do another prep on Wednesday. So you can make 2 meals out of your Sunday cooking, and then another meal on Wednesday. So that's a great way to save time, still eat healthy. And like Chef Antonio was saying, you could switch it up and maybe do a fried rice, stir it into a stir-fried rice, or do something different with your salmon and put the salmon in and make rice. So there's all kinds of ways to be creative when you're doing your meal prepping. But I think meal prepping is one key important component when you're working on weight loss. Because if you're sporadic and you're not really planning things out, you get hungry. Next thing you're stopping off at McDonald's or you're stopping off at a fast food restaurant. But when you plan your meals out ahead of time for the week, it's easier for you to stay on target. All right, Pastry Chef Raven, let's put her picture up again of what we're about to move to next. Crystal says she never stir fries her rice. That's okay. I don't even want y'all eating rice for the most part, but if we're doing rice, we're doing brown rice. Eat in very small portions. But try it. You may find that if you enjoy it, you can put all kinds of ingredients. Chef Antonio, if you want to tell us a little bit more on what type of ingredients we can put in our stir fries. Oh, she's not even listening. All right, here we go. Pastry Chef Raven, take it away from us and let us know what we're doing next.
Okay, cool. First of all, can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
I hope you guys cannot hear me because my fan is automatic and it shut on when it started bringing the house down with the salmon.
Okay.
But,
I'm still gonna plug it. I think we might get a better view if Chef Antonio holds the camera close by and has it in his hand and he's able to angle it so he can see you and the food inside your bowl.
Cool.
I don't know.
I'm gonna put you to work.
Gotcha, no problem. Yes,
All right. Get my good angle. All right, so today for dessert, we're gonna be making a keto Snickerdoodle cheesecake. Okay? I promise you it's healthy. I promise you I'm not gonna ruin your diet. You guys can be very proud of you guys for sticking to it, especially during this the pandemic and everything we're going through. I'm gonna make you guys something that is easy. You can make it from home. The kids can help. It's very beginner level, whether you guys are mixing it by hand, a hand mixer, stand mixer, however you're gonna mix it. So right now we're gonna start off with the crust. In my bowl here, I have a cup of almond flour and I have a 1/4 cup of chickpea flour. Okay, now I picked these flours specifically because they're both keto friendly. If you guys are familiar with the keto diet, you know that it means no carbs and no sugar, or very little, as little as possible. So almond flour is made 100% of almonds. Chickpea flour is made 100% of ground garbanzo beans, so ground chickpeas. Okay, and there's 0 carbs in this crust so far. Next, I'm gonna add in a 1/4 cup of my favorite sweetener. Right now, I'm using the Splenda sweetener. You guys can use any 0-calorie sweetener that you want to use. Swerve is also a very popular brand. A lower cost option is the Splenda, like I'm going to be using today. So if you guys can't afford Swerve, don't try to break the bank trying to buy it. I got you. 1/4 cup in here. Right. Next up, I'm going to throw in a teaspoon, pinch of salt, just a little bit, just to help bring out the flavor. A lot of people get thrown off when you add salt to desserts. Salt gets added to desserts all the time. It's actually an excellent component to help combine the flavors and bring out every individual layer of flavor that you're adding into your dessert. So don't be afraid of a little bit of salt. I'm also going to add in 1 egg. Okay. And as I do that, this is going to start to turn into more of a batter consistency. So I'm going to switch from my whisk over to my spatula. Okay. 1 egg goes straight into it. And then here I have a 1/4 cup of melted butter. I got a 1/4 cup of melted butter. Now, if you're not familiar with measurement, a 1/4 of a cup of butter is just a half a stick of butter. And my butter is unsalted as well, y'all. So let's say you can't measure and you don't know, Raven, I don't know what a 1/4 cup is. Just cut your stick of butter in half. Or if you don't have unsalted butter, just use salted butter. And then just take out the salt, omit the salt from the recipe. It's all good. The beautiful thing about cooking is that it's so versatile and you guys can tweak it to your own family's taste buds and needs, however it is you guys need to do it. Okay. Now this is gonna form almost like a cookie dough, almost would be the consistency of it. Not your typical pie crust, especially when you're comparing it to a graham cracker crust. Ooh, I almost forgot my favorite part, the ground cinnamon. I do not measure my cinnamon that goes into here. I do that on purpose. I do that because this part is completely to taste. And this goes back to the part I was saying before, where I said a lot of this recipe is going to be your own personal preference. I personally love cinnamon. I'm going to dump a whole bunch in here. If you don't like a lot of cinnamon, do not add a lot of cinnamon. It's that simple. But just remember, the point of the cinnamon is also the taste, but it's also to give it that brown color. So it kind of mimics a graham cracker crust a little bit more. So just bear in mind, if you decide to skip out on a lot of the cinnamon, you won't get that deep brown color, which is totally fine. So I'm just going to mix that into my pie crust here. The pie crust, we're going to bake it on its own for about 15 minutes. And then after 15 minutes, we'll go back and we'll add our filling back into it. So it's not it's super good. It's really good.
Can you angle the camera down
Right, awesome.
a little bit so we can see the consistency again in the bowl? There we go. Okay.
Like that, yep. So it should form a ball like this, guys.
Okay.
Everybody should have a ball that looks like that. Let me see yours, Bernie.
Huh? Oh, what'd you say?
I said, are you good? Did you need to see it again?
Oh, no, I'm good.
You got it? Okay.
I got it. I'm sure mine is going to come out perfectly.
Thanks. Cool. So, the pie crust, right? A little ball that I have here. I'm going to take this and I'm going to add it to a greased 9-inch springform pan. Now, I got my springform pan from Walmart. We love Walmart, don't we? We got it from Walmart. Everyone loves Walmart. I think it was about $10. If you don't want to spend the $10 to get a springform pan, don't do it. Use a cake pan. Walmart also has regular 8-inch, 9-inch cake pans that are like $1. I think the max is like $3. Get one of those. The only thing about a springform pan, it's great for cheesecakes because it has this little latch on the side here, and you can pop it, and then the bottom tray comes out like that. That's just a fancy feature for cheesecake. You don't necessarily need it, okay? So what I'm going to do, okay, I'm going to take my pie crust, and I'm just going to add it straight to the springform pan like this, and I'm going to use the back of my Dessert Queen spatula, and I'm going to flatten out my pie crust. Now, if you're asking yourself, Raven, I like a lot of pie crust. I like my cheesecake to have a high pie crust. I like my cheesecake to have a nice thick graham cracker crust. This isn't enough pie crust. What do? Just make more. Just make more. That way you can bring it up on the sides. My pie crust right here is only going to cover the bottom because that's how I like my cheesecake. If you like a thicker crust, make more crust. And bring it up on the sides of the springform pan like that. Like you would just smush it up against the sides like that. When it comes to baking, there's not a lot of room for creativity. There's not a lot of room for freelancing a lot of things. As far as like, you just can't throw in however much baking powder and baking soda you want. You know, it really is a science, but there are certain areas where you can kind of get creative and let your hair down and customize it to yourself. And this is definitely one of those areas. Okay, cool. I've got my pie crust. She's ready to go in the oven. I have my ovens preset to 300 degrees. Okay, so you're going to drop it down a few degrees lower from where Chef Antonio had y'all ovens at. Just drop it down to 300. Pop this in there. about 10 minutes max, okay?
Got it.
All right, so let me throw this in here, top shelf. Hit the switch up. I don't know if we can reach that. Yeah, just so you can see it inside there. You guys see that? Right on the top shelf.
Okay.
And I'm gonna throw it right in there. Nice. Now while that's going, for 10 minutes, I got my timer on 7:45. I'm gonna take that out. We're gonna work on the filling, which is my favorite part for the cheesecake. Okay. My secret weapon to this cheesecake is a cup of plain non-fat Greek yogurt. Okay, I have a cup of plain non-fat Greek yogurt here. Now, the reason why I'm using this is going to mimic the consistency of some of the cream cheese that we would originally be adding to this. Okay, so this is going to help lower the fat content of the cheesecake. This is one of the secret ingredients. Okay.
So 1 cup
my
of
cup in here.
non-fat Greek yogurt. Got it.
Non-fat Greek yogurt. That's going to help lower the calorie contents of this. And also, it's going to keep the same consistency as that cream cheese as we want. So, slowly, I'm going to start adding in 1 pack of my non-fat cream cheese at a time. Okay. If y'all are still on the Greek yogurt stuff, that's totally cool. I'm just taking my cream cheese out the pack and adding it to the yogurt.
I've never been a big baker, so this is nice to be able to do something like this.
Oh, say that one more time.
I've never been a really big baker, especially baking things from scratch. So this is fun. It's nice to be able to do something like this.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. You know what's funny? I've been baking my whole life. All I'm doing right now is my cream cheese is softened. Okay, it's softened cream cheese here. But and you wanna get down for but yeah, I've been baking my whole life. My grandmother is a baker. My great grandmother, actually, which is she's passed on now, but she actually used to write down recipes the same way how I do. She used to have the best homemade brownie recipes and homemade red velvet cake recipes, and she would write them down on like these little like note cards, and she passed them down to my grandmother. And for any event, my grandmother would use her actual note cards from like 1940s and use her actual note cards to help her bake. And whenever I write down my recipes, even to this day, I think about my great grandmother. Okay.
Now, how many packs of the cream cheese are we using?
I apologize. This is 2 packs of non-fat cream cheese.
Okay.
Now, my original recipe calls for 3 packs of full-fat cream cheese. I purposely switched it to non-fat everything, and it's 2 packs of cream cheese and then a cup of that Greek yogurt.
Got it.
Also, you guys will notice that I'm going to be using my spatula and my whisk to get this to that smooth, creamy consistency. Okay? If you have a hand mixer, feel free to use it. If you are fancy and you have a stand mixer, girl, feel free to use it. I'm going to be representing for the ones that are doing it by hand because I want to show you guys that if you guys do not have any of those things, you do not have to stress yourself. Anybody can do this recipe. You just mix it by hand. Just bear in mind it'll take a little bit longer. You'll still get the same result. The key to it is a really, really softened cream cheese. And my cream cheese has been sitting out all day, so it's ready to go.
Oh, I should have left mine out a little longer because I'm having to use a lot more elbow grease than I anticipated.
More elbow grease? That's fine. That's fine. If you, like I said, if you have like a little hand mixer or stand mixer, it'll help get that blended a little bit quicker for you. The key to making any dessert really is just planning it ahead. You know what I mean? So making sure that you're planning ahead the ingredients. I was telling Chef Antonio, I keep softened butter on my kitchen counter, whether I plan on baking or not, because I never know when genius is going to strike. I always make sure I have softened butter at hand. Okay. So where you're at so far, it should look a little bit like this.
Can you get it a little bit closer so you can see? And it looks like, well, we'll go over, I think I saw someone wanting us to go over the ingredients again. We'll post that. We'll also post it on our Facebook page as well. So folks can But the salmon dish, the calories came out to be about 310 calories. And then Raven's dish is going to be, I believe each slice is 200 calories, but of course that depends
200 a slice.
how big you make your slices.
Yes. yes. So out of the one cake, and I will show you guys the finished product as well. Out of one cheesecake, you will get 8 slices out of it. Okay. Don't go cutting your cheesecake into 6 slices talking about this isn't 200 calories. Okay. It's 8 slices.
Got it.
That's what you guys should get from it. Okay. And so far, if anybody's lost, all I've added in was a cup of non-fat Greek yogurt and 2 packs of non-fat cream cheese. That's all we got in this bowl so far. Next up, if it's okay, I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of the ingredients. I have a cup of sweetener. Once again, sweetener of your choice. Okay. In my case, I'm using Splenda. I'm going to go ahead and pour that along the top.
Okay. I'm using my agave light.
Agave light
My
is perfect.
favorite.
That sounds delicious.
This is one of my favorites that I recommend using as opposed to white sugar. And
How much do we put in?
each tablespoon is about 60 calories.
Tablespoon 60 calories. Nice. Yum.
Although I do like the stevia because it's no calories.
Right.
I'm sorry. How much did you say we were putting in?
That's just gonna be so it's a cup of my sweetener. I'm not sure how that would translate into agave since it's a liquid.
Oh, got it. I'll just did that.
Just remember, so the sweetener's to taste, right? So you can add in your maybe like a teaspoon at a time so you get your desired sweetness.
Okay. I will say with the agave, a little goes a long way. It's pretty
potent. Little goes a very long way. Yes, ma'am.
Raven,
I tried something called allulose. You ever heard of this? Hold on.
Say it again.
You ever heard of this?
I have.
Ooh,
I've never before in my life, but it's made of what is it? Figs. It's a natural sweetener. Figs, yeah.
Nice.
I never tried it, so I'm trying something new. So let me know. I'll let you know how it is.
Absolutely. You have to let me know how you like that. I have heard of that. I've never actually used it. I have used agave before. I've never used allulose.
Yep,
I've never heard. I've heard it. I've never used it.
You
gotta let me know. Put me on to something new.
It's so far.
All right. Next up, I've got 2 eggs.
2 eggs. Okay. Bring my eggs.
Got 2 large eggs.
Go ahead.
Just gonna add these in. You can do it one at a time if you'd like to. I'm not that fancy. I'm just gonna mix in everything at once.
Just throw the eggs in. Okay.
Just throw them in. Give it a mix. There is no such thing as over mixing this recipe because there is no flour in this. The flour has gluten in it, which means that there is a possibility that you can overmix it. There is no overmixing with this. So it's not gonna end up really like tough or like too hard to chew, or this isn't your traditional cake. It's just all cream cheese.
Got it.
Cheese based. I'm just hitting it with my whisk really quickly. I think that's the wrong angle. You guys. Oh, yeah. Hold on, like. A little bit of salt. And I have the juice of 1 lemon here as well. I'm going to add that in.
Juice of 1 lemon. Okay. A whole lemon?
Juice of 1 lemon. Yep. The juice of 1 whole lemon. 1 whole lemon. And I'll explain the point of the lemon too. So the cream cheese, if you've ever had like a cheesecake, very dense. The lemon helps to cut that denseness. So you don't lose any of like the fluffiness from it, but the juice of the lemon does help to cut it to make it a little more palatable, because when you have so much like fat and sugar coating your tongue, it's hard to appreciate all of the flavors that you're actually incorporating into the recipe.
Interesting. So the lemon makes it stand out a little bit more. brings
Yes.
it out.
When I was developing this recipe, I kept tasting it and I'm like, what does this need? And I was like, I got this. And acid, a little bit of acid, like a little bit of the acidity from the lemon. Very helpful. Should be nice and smooth like this. Not sure if y'all can get that. Let me. No, you're good. I need a little longer. Okay. Now my next step, it's totally optional. You do not have to do this. I'm gonna add in more cinnamon though. Are there any other cinnamon lovers?
I will be adding more cinnamon.
Yeah. I will be adding more cinnamon too. I love cinnamon. And the thing about cinnamon in terms of weight loss, I myself, I've been on a weight loss journey like this past year. And cinnamon has been a lifesaver because there's so many healthy properties to cinnamon. You know, I'm not a nutritionist, so I can't really go into like details of it, but I do know that it does have, I believe it's like antioxidants in it and so many other great properties to it that it just makes it an excellent weight loss staple to have in your pantry. And also, cinnamon's great when you're making Snickerdoodle anything. You want to make sure you got a little cinnamon on hand.
I can't wait to try this.
You should be able to see the nice creamy consistency of the cheesecake. The little speckles of the cinnamon should be in your batter right now. Nice. I hear whisking. I love it.
How's everybody else doing out there in Facebook world?
Yeah. Does anybody need me to repeat that?
I've never made this cheesecake before. Let's see. We haven't put butter, have we?
Say it one more time.
Did we use butter already? Are we using butter, the stick of butter?
We only
We're
only using butter in the crust.
Okay, that was
no butter in the filling.
Got it. Got it.
I'm gonna go ahead and take a peek at my crust. Speaking of the crust, I'm gonna go ahead and take a peek at it, see if it's ready to come out now. Let me see. A little bit longer. Could you give me a fork out of the top?
Yes.
Big one's fine, yeah.
Sweetener?
So hopefully folks who are watching, they can be making, you guys can make this with the kids. This looks like a really fun ingredient to cook along and have for dessert, and it's something low calorie, not a lot of sugar, and you have control over the sugar. Cinnamon definitely will make it pop. Oh, I see that prep.
Mm-hmm. I just checked on it. It's gonna need a few more minutes, which is totally fine. But yes, so this recipe is very kid friendly. So I know myself, I have a 6-year-old niece and I have a 3-year-old nephew. And they both think that it is the coolest thing that their Aunt Raven like makes cookies for a living and makes cakes for a living, right? But my job a lot of the time as Aunt Raven is not to fill them up with junk because their mom, my sister, would be upset if I sent them back home full of sugar. So making them something that's low sugar, low calorie like this, it's easy. The kids can help and play along. Once again, I did not use a hand mixer. I did not use a stand mixer for this. There's no dangerous whisk that's going around that their fingers could get caught in. They're going to be doing this completely by hand, and they can help you out with this. They absolutely can.
Chef Reason, I have to tell you that I have my goddaughter here. Sorry.
Hi, daughter.
My goddaughter here. She's a future Chef Raven. Like, she loves to cook pastry stuff. And she's like, she got so excited when she found out we were going to do this today. So here she is. Say hi, Harmony.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi, it's Harmony.
Yes.
Hi, Harmony. It's so nice to meet you. It's so nice to meet you. Do you like cheesecake?
What'd you say?
Do you like cheesecake, Harmony?
The first time making cheesecake?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna love this one. It's super good. Super good.
Super good. A little bit.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, especially with everybody being at home. For a lot of restrictions are starting to get lifted now, but with everybody still gearing on the side of precaution and health and making the decision to stay in the house a little bit longer, this is definitely something that'll make your stay in the house. It's gonna be corny, but a little bit sweeter.
Definitely.
This is
We have
super
someone
good.
who's asking, is there something else that if folks can't really tolerate cinnamon, do you have another recommendation for a seasoning or that they can use? I don't know if nutmeg or some other seasoning that might be a good option for folks.
You can do so. It is a Snickerdoodle cheesecake because of the cinnamon sugar that I add in. If you do not like cinnamon, then you can just add like a nice layer of sugar on top, and it'll give it like a nice crispy crunch top layer before you get into the cheesecake. You could omit the cinnamon sugar option altogether and just make a classic cheesecake. You could use nutmeg. I tested out my first batch with nutmeg, actually, Burmy.
How was it?
Only thing about nutmeg is that it's a little bit stronger than cinnamon. So do not add in as much nutmeg as you would cinnamon.
Okay.
It will make it way too spicy.
Got it.
And then I'll show you guys like different ways to top it as well. You could top it with a sugar-free chocolate sauce. You could top it with a sugar-free caramel. You could top it with fresh fruit. I've also made a sugar-free homemade raspberry sauce to go on top of this for a client one time, and she died. She loved it. So there's plenty of this is one of those things where it's like, listen, you do you. I cannot tell you guys where to go as far as the creativity portion of it is. You guys can do whatever it is that you guys are going to enjoy. I just happen to have an addiction to cookies, so I just decided to turn a cookie into a cheesecake. All right, so I'm going to check the crust. That looks much better. Right? Right? Thank you. All right, so my crust is ready to come out. I also, about midway, I punctured it with a fork on the top just to help let some of that air escape a little bit. Also, I don't know if you guys can see, there's a golden rim around the edges of the crust. That's another way to know that your crust is ready to come out. And my favorite way to tell if your crust is ready to come out is you can smell it. I don't even set a timer in my kitchen anymore. The way I know that if I'm baking something, the way I know it's done is if I can smell it. So, but that's expert level. Please set a timer. Don't be like me. Please set a timer. I don't want you to burn your kitchen down.
Oh, my crust looks amazing.
So, nice, Brownie. Oh, that's good, girl. Nice. That looks really good.
I should have thought of that too.
That looks amazing.
That looks great.
So the next step, this filling is going to go straight on top of the pie crust. And we're going to go back to your ovens. Turn that 300 degree up to 350, please. Okay. And your cheesecake's going to go at 350 degrees for 35 minutes at least. It should still be jiggly. Do not wait until it's set completely. If your cheesecake's set when you pull it out, that means you waited too long. 35 minutes, run back in the kitchen, wiggle it a little bit. If it's jiggly in the center, you're good. It's done.
35 minutes. You said, can we just pour this all straight in?
Yes, ma'am. The filling's going to go straight onto the hot pie crust. It's okay that it's hot. It's all going back into the oven.
Whoa.
You ready? You got to get my pour shot in it. You ready for a pour shot?
Man, I'm trying to make sure I'm at a good angle.
Don't drop your bowls.
Oh my gosh, this is my very first cheesecake. And it wasn't as hard as
And I am honored.
Yeah, it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be.
It's not okay. So I learned from a classically trained chef. I'm classically trained. So I have a pastry degree. I started off in a traditional kitchen, and the way that I learned how to make cheesecake Y'all, literally, it was so extra. So there were so many steps to it. There was like thickening agents and flour. And then you'd have to put like the cheesecake in like a hot water bath and stick it on the bottom shelf of the oven and let it cook all day.
Oh,
this
no.
cheesecake recipe.
No,
Now it does have to set for a few hours, but that's just with any cheesecake. That's just to make sure that it's set in the middle. Other than that few hour wait that you have, you do not. It does not require anything that is that intensively done. This is a very, very family friendly, home chef friendly recipe.
What we need to do? Sugar.
Y'all are lucky because
That's
my
my
first cheesecake was not this simple. It took me
35
all day. Now, oh yeah, perfect, beautiful, Burmy. From this point, I have not put mine in yet. If you want to, which of course I want to, more cinnamon because why not, right? You could put a little more cinnamon on top. You can mix some cinnamon and sugar and put this on top.
Oh,
You don't have to put anything on top if you don't want to. If you'd like to, you could make I have a raspberry sauce recipe. It's actually on my page, Raven Nicole's Desserts. If you guys are interested in the raspberry sauce, you could put on top. There's so many different options for this. Thank you. And I'm gonna pop this on the top shelf here. Yeah, you can. Top shelf. And that's gonna stay in there for about 35 minutes.
okay. Got it.
That's that. Your finished product should look a little something like this.
Ooh.
Let me know if you're ready for the finished product.
Ooh.
Finished
Okay,
product
bring
should
it
look a little
closer.
something
Bring it
like
closer.
this.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Now,
So show us what a slice would look like because I could eat the
let's
whole
slice
pack.
together, shall we?
Yes,
Because
let's
if you're
slice.
anything like me, you don't know what a slice is. I'm gonna show you what a slice is. Where's mine? We're going straight down the middle here. Almost like a pizza.
Can we get closer to the cut so we can see? I don't think we can see it. There we go. A little closer. Oh, that's so good.
I just need to clean my knife off real quick. Thank you. So I cut it in half, and then I cut it in quarters. I'm gonna go one more time.
Got it.
You put that. This so thick.
Yeah. Make sure I did 8 times. Cool. So let me.
Raven, someone is asking, is there a good strawberry sauce recipe to put on top of the cheesecake?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I have a great, if y'all want to, follow my page, Raven Nicole's Desserts. I'll be posting my raspberry sauce and my strawberry sauce recipe this week. I promise you. I got you. Okay? My strawberry sauce recipe. And it's homemade. This is real strawberries. Like I bought the strawberries from Target. It's real strawberries. Okay? And I'm going to show you guys how to cook them down in the pan. It's going to be great. Okay? All right. So this is my cheesecake. This is my one slice.
Ooh.
It's a nice size, right?
Ooh.
This is 200 calories. Look at the crust, guys. So it's a nice thick crust at the bottom. I love a thick crust. Listen, I love thick crust everything. Okay, especially my graham cracker crust. All right.
Yummy. So you said we're cooking it for 35 minutes, and then we're going to let it sit for 5 hours.
Yes, 35 minutes, let it sit for 5 hours. Listen, I know that sounds long. I know that sounds like a long time. Plan ahead, okay? If you want this ready for dinner by 6 o'clock, just make sure you start at 12, get everything prepped and set up. If it's in the oven by 1 o'clock, you're ready for dinner. Okay. And it takes a little bit of planning ahead, but it is worth it, I promise.
So do we need to refrigerate it for the 5 hours, or just let it sit out?
Yes. So once it comes out of the oven after 35 minutes, it's still a little bit jiggly in the center. Perfect. What I do with mine is I cover mine up with a layer of aluminum foil, and then you guys can pop it in your refrigerator. Let it just let it go. Let it do its thing. Okay. What I did was, I think I watched a Netflix movie. I worked out. I took a shower. I came back. I was tempted to sneak a bite around the 3 hour mark. I didn't. I left it back in the fridge. Went out to Target. Came back, and then I enjoyed cheesecake. That was what I did with my 5 hours. If you're curious.
Perfect. Okay. All right. Because I wish I could eat it now.
I know. And it's gonna look ready. Don't let it fool you. It's not ready. Let it chill. Let it chill. But it's worth it. Look at this. It's worth it, guys. Definitely.
And I think we talked about another meal prep strategy. It's a way to extend this out, because of course, if you have the cheesecake sitting out, you'll be tempted to try and eat all of it. Maybe 1 or 2. This might be a good option. Can we freeze it to save it for later?
Oh, you can absolutely freeze it, Bernie. Excellent question. You can definitely freeze this. So once you guys have your slice, right? You had your little slice. You can't leave it out because you'll eat the whole thing. I get it. I'm with you. What are you going to do with 7 slices? You can't come back at midnight taking up the slice, right? You can wrap these up individually in plastic wrap and put them in your freezer. Okay. If you know that you're going to be having, let's say you're about to cook dinner, just let it sit out on your counter. Have dinner, let it sit out for an hour or so. After your hour or so, it's ready to enjoy. It's ready to enjoy after that. If you guys are looking for another fun little meal prep way, kind of along the same lines as Chef Antonio was saying, like repurposing your food. And this is really fancy. This is really bougie. Okay. So Michael's has these little Parfait Cups, right? And what you can do is you can take your cheesecake and slice it into little cubes. So show the, you can slice it into little cubes like this, guys. And you can layer this with Cool Whip, which is notoriously very low in calories, okay? Or I also have a homemade whipped cream recipe, which is very low in calories. And you can layer your cheesecake with cheesecake, whipped cream, or Cool Whip, and then some fresh berries on top. And then you have like a little mini healthy cheesecake parfait.
Love it.
Nice, right?
Love it.
If you want to have it for breakfast, I won't tell.
I will. We're not doing that for breakfast. We're doing some healthy oatmeal. We're doing some omelet. So if you're part of the 20-pound challenge, we're not doing this for breakfast.
Not for the 20-pound challenge. Wait till the challenge is over. Don't do it for the challenge.
Okay, wait till the challenge is over. And then you do it in moderation. Thank you so much.
That's pretty much it. I mean, just remember that, like, you know, when it comes to desserts, when it comes to food, period, a lot of people, including myself, we struggle with this idea of, you know, I can't have something, or I shouldn't have this, when that's not the option at all. The thing is, food isn't bad. It's about how you prepare it and the moderation of the food. You know, I promise you guys a 200-calorie cheesecake, and this is it. It's possible. It's here, you know? Like Bernie said, a slice of original plain Cheesecake Factory cheesecake, nothing on it, over 700 calories. This is 500 calories lighter. Food is not the enemy. You just have to rethink your idea of food. And that's what my company is all about.
We have a question. Someone is asking, how long can you freeze the cheesecake?
I would say you should just run on that. I haven't freezed my cheesecake for longer than like a week. And what I would do is I would have like a slice a day after dinner, so it lasts me about 7 days. If you choose to just like wrap it up in plastic and stick it in the fridge, it could last you about 3 to 5 days. But what I would say is use your better judgment. Like, if it's Halloween and you're like, oh, let me get some of that cheesecake I made with Chef Raven back in June, I might rethink it. You know, you might want to give it a sniff or, you know, give it a taste test first. I wouldn't say go for it. But definitely a week tops, I would comfortably be able to recommend.
Okay. I know I've seen some of the cheesecakes that they have in the freezers. I mean, we're not putting preservatives in ours, but the freezer is a preservative within itself, and they usually can stay in there for a couple of weeks, even up to a
Yes,
month,
ma'am.
sometimes even longer than that. As long as
Yes,
you
ma'am.
freeze it pretty quickly, you should be okay. And then thawing it, you just leave it out. You're not putting it in the microwave or anything to thaw out.
I
Great.
would not put it in the microwave because of the cream cheese. I
Okay.
don't want it to make you guys sick. If you just leave it out on the counter just to let it do its own thing, it should be good to eat in about an hour. Maybe less.
Okay, very good.
Maybe a little bit less than an hour because it's by slice.
Excellent.
So,
Excellent.
faster.
Well, I will say I cannot wait. I have my dish here. I'm going to take a picture of it and put it on there. So I'm super proud of myself and my salmon. I'm going to take my picture. I've got it. Can y'all see? It's I'll put it like this. So anyways, I've got my grilled salmon, my grilled.
Look at her plating. Okay, plating.
Thank you so much, Antonio, for your. I can't wait to try this. I actually tried a little bit of the salmon. It was scrumptious. And Raven, cannot wait for the next 6 hours. I'm counting down. Then I'll be able to
Listen, just let it sit in your fridge, and then tomorrow morning you can sneak a little bit before breakfast.
Okay.
I won't tell nobody.
All right. Deniska, anything you want to say before we head out here?
I made the plate and I laid it out and I said, take a picture, and I turned around and it was gone. It was eaten, and I won't call him out who ate it, but it's gone and eaten. And
what?
All I have is the lemon peel on the table. So
try your dish? Oh, that's not right.
No, I do have a little bit left, so I'm gonna get to it. It's just not laid out like I presented it. So either way, but I can't wait. I want to definitely get the ingredients, all the right ingredients for the crust, because at one point my audio was out, so I didn't get to make my crust yet. So I have to make that next.
Yeah. So I had a confession because I ran out of time. And so I ended up picking up some graham crackers. So it's probably going to be a little more calories than what yours was, Raven. But that's another option.
I was wondering how your crust came out so perfect. I was like, how was that crust done for everybody else's?
So anyway, thank you all for tuning in. For those who stuck with us, we had a few technical difficulties, but definitely we wanted to show that there's a way for us, even during all the stuff that we're going through, to still have a good time. To have healthy meals, healthy entrees, especially with our desserts too, so we don't go overboard and pack on the pounds during our summertime, because we're still trying to get our beach bodies in. But Chef Raven and Chef Antonio, you guys outdid yourselves, and we're super excited about our dishes. I'm getting ready to go and eat mine now and have my dinner. But thank you all again. We'll be back again in a couple weeks, so you all stay tuned. We're going to be doing a juice cleanse with Chef Kepra. He's a vegan chef. That's going to be in a couple weeks, and we'll post that once it comes in 2 weeks. But if we don't talk to you till then, we want to wish everyone happy Father's Day. That's coming up next week, I believe, right?
Yes.
Stay safe out there. Stay well, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.